How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. I took a week off, I needed it. So the last video I did was a gear bag, my essential gear bag video. And I got a few emails and some friends have asked me about my art making stuff that are in that bag. So I basically took everything out of the bag that I use to make art with, minus the video and audio in the Mac. I thought I'd share it with you how I go about doing things, and basically a little tip of using your stuff before you get in the field or before you want to use it away from home or anything where you just don't have everything you need, and kind of why I take what I take. So we'll start with the ink. And yes, I double bag it because it does protect the gear from getting an accidental spill from the ink. But it also gives me an extra bag in case I feel like I need it. Keep paper towels. If you work in watercolor, you're going to want to have paper towels. If you work in ink, you're going to want to have paper towels. So in fact, this is probably not very many for most of us. Oftentimes I wish I had more than this, but yes, it's for accidental spills, but it's also for cleaning my brushes at the end of the day, wiping out the water, cleaning off the palette, cleaning off the steel nib for this. I could use different pens and things that already have ink in them. I don't like them that much. I don't think they clean as well. I don't think they travel as well. I think they're accident prone. So is a steel nib, but at the same time, I'd rather have a steel nib. So that's the ink. The Winsor & Newton field box. This is the artist grade field box. It does come with a brush. This brush is okay. I've got brushes in my bag here too, but this right here is essentially what you got. It's designed to work as you're painting. You can dip in your water, get your color. You can mix it on your palette and go right onto your paper. So we'll leave that out for a second. Pencils are always important. You know, you draw, if you're like me, you like to draw lots of different stuff. I'm not going to get into that. All right, what's in this bag? If you watch the video, you know I kind of glazed over this bag really quick. A gum eraser because they're good. These white erasers are really good if you do a lot of ink work and you want to get rid of your pencil lines after the ink dries. These are fantastic for that. A kneaded eraser, if you want to lighten an area that you've drawn, you know, pull a little bit of the graphite back off. These are perfect for that. The knife is for sharpening my pencils. And then sandpaper for actually getting a nice point on those pencils. These brushes are actually pretty worn out. I got to get some new ones. But these are Series 7 Winsor & Newton watercolor. This one's not, but these are Series 7. This is a Grumbacher. Came with a set that I got years ago. I like mixing with it. I keep 2 nibs with me. I got 2 steel nibs for the nib holder, and essentially when I dip in my ink, I can draw with that. A couple pencil sharpeners. These really don't need to be in there. They're probably going to end up coming out. Paper clips, because you just never know when you want to hold paper back. In fact, I would have a few of these, and I don't have it here anymore. My clip is a larger clip I use to hold that shut. So there you have it on the basics of what I use, including paper here, and I'll show you the paper. But the real tip here is get this stuff out, see if it works for you. Find out what you need more of. If you need more paper towels, put more paper towels in there. If these colors don't work for you, find something else that you can use. This is the lid. This was the first piece on there that you got to cut off when you buy the Arches set. Now this This was my practice painting with this size. I would probably fill it up in the future. I wanted to just test it and go with a size that I could frame up pretty easy. This is a 4x6 image, made for a 5x7 opening, mat board opening, which is good for an 8x10 frame. So if I cut this line out right here and here, I've got a 6x8 paper size, which is good for mounting it on the back of the mat board. Plus it gives me room to mix some color, which I didn't even do on this one. I basically just slapped some stuff down there really quick. But it's pencil drawing first, inked second, and added watercolor to make this finished up. Now, everything on this particular painting was done using what I have here and what I keep in my bag. So the photo was taken with the camera that's in the bag, which is actually what I'm using to record this. The Mac was used to edit the photo and make it what I want. I actually put a grid on the photo in Photoshop and made that same grid on a scale here so that I could use that grid to kind of lay things out. But so that I didn't have to keep getting my Mac out and referring to my Mac every time I wanted to paint, I basically could take this stuff with me anywhere I was at, get it out of the bag. You know, if I'm waiting in the car for something or whatever, I can actually work at it whenever. So I sent this reference photo over to my iPhone, so I'd have it on my iPhone, and then when I work, I turn some music on, and literally, you know, if I'm working at it, I can sit here and just kind of do my thing and just work. It's not a commitment like oil paints or anything like that, although I do have a small oil painting setup that I can take anywhere. It's in its own bag. The way these arches, if you've never used arches before, there's a glue, and mine is starting to come apart because I dropped it. That really kind of bums me out a little bit, but if you've never used arches, they have a spot right here where there's no glue on the edges. So you come in underneath of your picture that you painted, your painting, you use a palette knife, kind of go around it, and you can take your picture off, and now you've got another, on your block, you've got another one that you can use that is ready to go for your next picture. I do recommend getting some practice out like this and just getting some things done before you ever go into the studio, or the field rather. That way you know what to expect. You know what the limitations of your materials are. You know what your own limitations are. The gear that you've selected, does it work for you? Those sorts of things. You know, this travels really nice. So if you're an artist, and if you're a painter of any kind, I think a kit like this is nice to have. That's really all I got. I can get pretty windy on this sort of subject, and I don't really want to. I wanted to share kind of how I worked with this stuff. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hit the unlike button. That's fine too. I don't care. The more I learn from you guys, the more I'm going to learn about what I want to share on here and what works for me, what works for my channel. Tell me in the comments what you do. If you have a setup like this, let me know. If you think of something better that I could be doing, let me know. I'd love to hear it. I will be trying to minimalize this even more as the years go on, but over the years, this is kind of what I really have migrated to. It travels well. There you have it. Have a great week. See ya.